Decimal place value. How do you mathematically read or say numbers with tenths and hundredths? Place value is the value of a digit in a number and shows whether the digit's value is in the tens, hundreds, thousands, etc. In addition to our regular whole number place values, digits that follow a decimal represent fractional numbers or numbers that are less than 1. To do this, we have some different values. A number in the first place to the right of the decimal represents tenths. The 9 represents 9/10. A number in the second place after the decimal represents hundredths. So the 1 here represents 1/100th. A place value chart works well for whole numbers. You've seen these before. It can be expanded to include decimals. Let's take a closer look at the decimal place values, focusing on tenths and hundredths. Notice there is no 1th. The first place is the tenths. So how do we say or read these numbers? What do they represent? Let's start with a simple example. You are already familiar with the whole numbers and how to say them. Remember, we don't use the word "and" when reading the whole number. We say 308. Let's look at the decimal part of the number. For the decimal part of a number like this, you will often hear people say 0.5, but in math, we read numbers mathematically. It helps to show we understand their value. We don't say 0.5. So how do we say this part of the number? Where the decimal is, we say "and." Next, we look at the numbers after the decimal, and we read them just like we would a whole number, in this case, 5. Finally, we give the place value of the last digit, tenths. Put it all together and we say 308 and 5/10. If we look at a number like the one in the chart, you're already familiar with the whole numbers and how to say them. We say 6,013. Let's look at the decimal numbers. For the decimal part of a number like this, you will often hear people say 0.91. But in math, we read numbers mathematically. We don't say 0.91. So how do we say this number? Where the decimal is, we say "and." Next, we look at the numbers after the decimal and we read them just like we would a whole number. In this case, 91. Finally, we give the place value of the last digit, hundredths. Put it all together and you have 6,013 and 91 hundredths. Let's take a look at another example. We say the whole number 13, followed by "and" for the decimal. Then you put the 2 and 7 together to say 27. Finally, you follow this by the place value of the last digit. The last digit is in the hundredths place. Put it all together and you would read this number 13 and 27 hundredths. Now you know how to read and say numbers that include decimals. Thank you for watching.